Good morning, Nigeria, Bielsa, Niger Delta, and anywhere you are listening to us right now. We are broadcasting live from Michael Pogba Street, Bansia, here in Yenagoa. And you're tuning to Golding 97.5 FM, Yenagoa, the gold standard of radio. And this is your number one socio-political conversation hub. Let's talk Nigeria. I am Moya Steving.
And I am Paul Oblomugbasa.
Now we're bringing you another thought-provoking discussion that cuts to the heart of our nation's journey. As always, it's not just talk, it's dialogue, it's reflection, and it's about shaping the Nigeria that we all desire. Today, we are taking on a subject that touches the very foundation of our society. It is entitled Re-Evaluating the Value System in Nigeria. Why do people go into government? Now, if we are being honest with ourselves, government in Nigeria has often been seen less as a platform for service and more as a gateway to personal achievement or enrichment. For many, it's not about the call to lead or passion to serve, but about access to power, influence, and wealth. But is that the true essence of governance? And how did our value system, once rooted in community, hard work, and integrity, shift so dramatically towards self-interest and survival at all costs?
So, just think about it. In many countries, public service is exactly that, service. They are also called public servants. But in Nigeria, we term them to be masters. But here at home, you know the phrase entering government often carries with it the expectation of status, privileges, and untouchability. You had that right, yes. We've seen people spend fortunes to secure political positions, not because of what they can give or offer, but because of what they expect to get in return, the kickbacks and the feedbacks. And it begs the question, what drives this mindset? Is it poverty? Is it the collapse of moral values as a society or as a nation? Or has governance simply become the most lucrative business in town, where some persons rightly would tell you that what do I do for my occupation? A full-time politician. This morning, we're not just pointing fingers, we are asking deeper questions. How did we get here? What does this obsession with wealth and power say about us as a people? And most importantly, how do we begin to shift our value system so that leadership is once again about service, vision, and nation building? Because until we fix our values, we may continue to recycle the same problems, which include corruption, bad governance, and underdevelopment.
So to help us on break down this very important conversation, we are honored to have with us in the studio a man whose voice and insights continue to shape public discourse. Our friend, Robert Derek Ukisaya. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
It's always a pleasure being here.
Yes, he is a keen observer of Nigeria's political and social landscape and someone who doesn't shy away from asking the hard questions. Together we'll be digging into why so many are drawn to the government, what it reveals about our society, and how we can begin to reset our compass. So stay with us, Nigeria. This is a very beautiful moment. This isn't just a conversation about politics. It's about who we are as a people and who we want to become. As always, your voice matters, so we'll be opening the phone lines later for your thoughts and contributions. And you already know, this is Let's Talk Nigeria on Golding 97.5 FM Yenagoa. Don't touch that dial. We'll be back. Now, before we begin to ask the very important questions, okay, or the damning questions, let's listen to the Emir of Kano, the 14th Emir of Kano, Alhaji, or, well, when you put it that way, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, what he says about the value system in Nigeria. Maybe that's going to give us a perspective, and we'll return to Robert Derek to respond to the questions that we have for him. Take a listen.
Many people go into government for the wrong reasons. You do not go into government to make money. If you want to make money, you become a businessman. Aliko Dangote is the richest man in Africa. He has never been a commissioner or a governor or a minister. So I think the entire value system of the country has been eroded. We have been ruled by people who have no values, people who come from, they have no names behind them, and they have no desire to leave a name after them. These are people who define themselves by what they own, how many houses they have, how many private jets they have, how many billions they have in bank accounts, and they think that is something. It is not important to them that people look at them and they only see thieves, they see criminals, they see people who have taken away the Commonwealth. It is simply not important because for them, the values do not matter. So I think we need an entire regeneration of values. It is not about one person. The president or the governor or a minister cannot on his own change this country. But I mean, look at our religious leaders, how they've become. They've also they become sycophants. They become praise singers for money. Traditional rulers have lost it. Everybody seems to have jumped on this bandwagon where money seems to be an end in itself. And unfortunately, a society in which material wealth, no matter how you get it, is respected, is glorified, where people who are known to have stolen money get rewarded with ministerial appointments, with senatorial appointments, that society will continue to reproduce itself. We do not have any, we don't have a sense of disgust for people who hold public office and amass wealth. We reward them with appointments, with more public office and more opportunities to amass wealth. And this is what Nigeria has become. Could it have been addressed by one man? I don't think so. Can it be addressed by 100 men? I don't think so. I think as parents, as citizens, we are all responsible. As leaders, we are all responsible. We have to continue stressing the importance of values, the importance of a sense of what is important in life beyond material wealth. We are all going to die. No matter how much money you have, you will die and you'll be buried, and there's nothing. You'll take nothing with you. And people simply do not understand that. People in their 70s and 80s are still looking for money. I don't know what they're going to do with it. So that's really the problem.
That was His Royal Majesty Muhammadu Sanusi II, the 14th Emir of Kano, speaking there. Very hard thoughts. No, that's why we're reevaluating the value system in Nigeria this morning, and we're asking the question, why do people go into government? Once again, we want to welcome Robert Derrick to the program. Let me hit you the first shot. To begin with, how would you personally define the value system of Nigeria today in relation to what the 14th Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, said?
Well, I would say that the value system is mismatched, deprioritized, and it's been eroded. 3 words: mismatched, deprioritized, and eroded. And you see, I would like to take the message and leave the messenger, else I would have had some corner kicks for Sanusi, but for the purpose of the conversation, let's focus on the message. You see, Nigeria is a system, or is a state that glorifies material possession. And the political system, the only reward from the political system is materialism laced in finance and other things. And it trickles from the top down. So when you look at the value system, everything is built around money, not mental wealth, physical. And like you rightly said, a society that the value system is built around money and materialism and not inherently about the mental acumen of people, you see, we would glorify those things. So to answer your question, if I'm going to define the value system in Nigeria, like I've said, it's 3 words: deprioritized, mismatched, and eroded.
Okay, so in this case now, do we say that Nigeria as a whole, do we have an issue? Do you have a leadership crisis, or a value system crisis, or a mixture of both?
I would say it's a mixture of both. It is people who bet values. It is not values that bet people.
Okay.
You see, for every system, for every society that you see that the value system has shrinked to the barest minimum, it's people. Character is something that transmits down to the society. So we are a reflection of the people around us. The values start from our families, our homes. Because I like to always bring conversations from the strata of the society. Some of us come from families where, the person who does not have money largely doesn't say much in the family meeting. So for him to actually garner enough respect for himself, he has to go and make money. So when he leaves that small family setup and he goes all out there, it's going to transmit. So his idea about life is, I'm not going to be reckoned with. I'm not going to be regarded unless I have money. So it's a blend of both. It's not just one strata. It starts from somewhere.
So when do you think this started? It looks like I do a gradualism, then suddenly it's gone
full-blown thing. Yes, of course. It's a full-blown thing. Because like I said, we live in a society where the average person only starts to respect you, regard you, until they have an idea of who you are.
And
who you are, yes. The who you are. Even the what is them that will debase it on you. So they start regarding you, giving you regard until they know who you are. And who you are is directly proportional to how much you can dispense or how much is perceived that you have. So when we have this thought process, everybody wants to get something so that somebody will regard them as something.
So, in your view, how has Nigeria's value system evolved from independence until now?
Looking at pre-independence, or let's say at the point of independence, some of the issues that even characterize the coup that we saw at some point were issues of embezzlement, spending government monies and the misbehavior from the political class. So right from time, this conversation has been there. Right from time. It's not new. Nobody should think that conversations about value system eroding just started yesterday. Oh, is this government or the government before that? Oh, no. It has always been there. Just that with the different timelines of life, sometimes it's minimal, sometimes it's higher.
So you think it's higher now?
I would say that it's not so much of it's amplified now, because the indices for you to measure the value system being high or low cannot be deciphered by one man. But there's awareness on it now. It's amplified.
Okay, and then we can talk about it being amplified, because during the military regime, it was just officers and people, those ones you don't have this thing. But now it is democracy. Some persons will argue that it is louder now because it is democracy. And so everybody's doing everything to get into power. How do you think, what do you think is responsible? Starting from the family and then the society, acceptance and everything, and the ability to get rich quick. Or let me quickly get a part of the national cake, and expectations, because we know that we've seen some persons, they are very good, they are calm, they enter into power, suddenly
it's changed.
No, it's not the calls that are coming. The moment Derek or Moe or myself enter into a particular prominent or a commissioner announced, the SMSs and everything, the society, all of this pressure, is this what has made some persons forget the value and begin to get rich and just try to make ends meet?
All right, good. Before we talk about values eroding, we should be looking at the other side of what values are actually tangible or inherently earmarked as value systems in Nigeria. When we were growing up, reading the books from Chinua Achebe and some of that, we could be able to pick certain values that were inherent in our society, values of hard work, values of consistency, and all of that. But you see, the Nigerian system does not reward hard work. Currently, it doesn't reward hard work. It's bad to say, but it's the reality of things. Because when you look at the balance for hard work, and how the value system is, the reward is not commensurable. Because if you say this man should do the right thing in the family setup, he goes to primary school, goes to secondary school, goes to the university, because that's where it starts from. Okay? And then he graduates. There's no system for him to work and be paid rightly. So it starts from this point. So the man who studied law or studied medicine and came out 6 years, spent 6 years in the university and came out, and he's still looking for a job or trying to find himself somewhere. What do you expect from that man? So that man now graduates and say, okay, let me just go into one system, maybe politics, or find myself somewhere and do something, because these people are not even, giving me a balance for what I want to get. It gets further there, and the whole thing is amplified. So if you're going to look at the value conversation, it starts from the family. Do families in Nigeria glorify hard work and the need for honest living?
So many people say governance in Nigeria has become the fastest route to wealth. Do you think this perception is so deeply ingrained in connection to what you were trying to say now?
Valid, very valid. It's about the fastest way. It's about the fastest way when you know your owners and when the opportunity greets itself.
So most of the political leaders we have here go into government, because the question is, why do people go into government?
A larger percent of them. In a close setup of a percentage ratio, we should be saying that in percentage scale, we should be saying that about 90% of them that have gone into politics today went there for self-benefits, aggrandizement.
Because I'm just worried. I'm just worried because the major thing is that as we are grooming young men and women to attain that position or the height of leading people, we're expecting them to carry the people along and give the people the dividends of true leadership and democracy. But from what we experienced and from what Mohammed Sanusi II, the 14th Emir of Kano, said, and corroborating what you said, I mean, anyone that comes to tell us today that please vote for me, I will do this and that, it's not because they really want to do for you, but because they want to make money.
Yes, that's why I said I'll be running it on a percentage scale, because there are still people out there who really want to see change. A system is not entirely that bad.
But when Nigeria allow those people who want to see the change happen,
that is the problem. That is the problem. Because even the good people who travel into this space find themselves at crossroads where they have to make critical decisions. Yeah. And those critical decisions at some point in time goes against their values. So it's a system that is controlled by people who have already sold themselves. So if you're the good man walking into the books, you should be able to compromise at some point in time.
The moment you're saying this, I'm just looking at it because sometimes you hear cases that say some governors, it's alleged that some governors or some political office holders have embezzled, and you want to find out that there've been connivance, of course, of a truth, with the civil service, with people that are in different parts and all that. So when these things occur, it means that it is not just those that are, is it only those that are in political classes that are going to governors that are having these wrong issues, or it is Nigerians as a whole?
I'm making bold to say that it is a Nigeria thing. It is even going to be unfair if we place conversations around value and just peg it to the Nigerian class, political class, and say it's because of this and this. Nigeria does not reward people who earnestly show value. That is what's emulating. It in our education system is there, because most of the politicians that we are pointing fingers to say, oh, these people have done this. This is the reason why they are coming into politics and all of that. The question you should ask yourself at some point in time is, at any point in time, have they tried going through any other route? And if they have tried going through any other route, what was the reward system like? For instance, a man who leaves school with flying colors is going to be given a big plaque of 100,000 naira. And then somebody who goes on certain shows to run around circus is given 50 million naira. That is one segment of it. So it is not it is a Nigeria thing. We do not reward people who have something, mental acumen. We do not reward people who are innovative. We do not reward people who are creative in a way that advances our economic landscape, our international reputation. We do not reward those people. So the young ones who are coming up have identified the systems that allow for quick rewards. They would jump into it because we have not redirected our thought flow. So it is all connected. The political class, the other class of people is all connected, so we can't just peg it on politicians. Now, we are always pegging it on politicians because we believe, okay, this is the ruling class. They should be able to direct the flow of things. But the question is, when they direct the flow of things and they have started doing the right things, the people down here, are they ready to accept it?
Big question. So, to what extent do you think our educational system has contributed to shaping or failing to shape our national values?
Thank you. Good. Let's say we have an educational system where conversations in the classrooms are always tilted to bring so much value for yourself, to your family. And in fact, it is embedded in the curriculum as, let's say, a conscious means that, look, for every student or for any person that does something valuable, this thing is set up for them. The government has agreed. Everybody has agreed that if you come through this route, if you do this thing, this is the value. You see, you start tilting. People start tilting towards the direction. Now, the mindset is not going to be laced to two. I don't have to go into politics to get this money. Once I can be good academically, once I can be innovative, there's something huge for me somewhere that is not tied to this. But the problem is, even at the center of some of these conversations, we still have the political class who would push for it.
Somewhat in the midst of everything, even if everybody you go to school and everything, people are saying the people that will create enabling environments going to be the political class.
That is the same thing.
And people have also decried talking about education being like the bane of change, of shifts.
Yes.
We supposed to have curriculum, have activities centered around problems from the society, but preferring solutions at the end. But now we are seeing that most times our people in government and everything do not really regard education, even though some of them have been beneficiaries of this. I just want to quote a particular scenario. A particular young lady from the Northern Extract went and she did a competition across the world. She came tops, and she was giving 200,000.
Of course, I heard the story.
And the 200,000 that she was giving is not even as compared to those that came for the sports, for football, giving $100,000.
And everyone made Nigeria proud.
And
these other ones won, made Nigeria proud. She also made Nigeria proud.
Is for education, and she came tops in everything. But the money she was even giving is not the equivalent of the passport, Nigerian passport for 62 pages, 200,000. If she's to go out and everything, that money that she's giving
is not even enough.
So what do we do?
Good. So you see, the conversation, the conversation on the topic itself is more or less like a cry, but will the cry be heard? But let's just put it out there for posterity's sake. Let's rewire our value system.
Okay.
And in rewiring our value system, we should place less credence on the political system. Let's have a system. Let's have other systems that has a balance factor. We see conversations of policemen on the road, field workers who, when they retire, what comes to them is not agreeable, and then one person can just sit in weeks and amount so much money. I think the power for any value change in the country lies in the hands of the people. The question is, are we doing so much pushing for it? Every conversation we want to have today about Nigeria, change, value system, it starts with the people, the common person. So let's start from the family. Are you consciously having conversations to your children, your kids, that there's need for honest work and hard work, regardless of anything, wherever you go, wherever you find yourself, just do the right thing. Definitely a value is waiting for you somewhere that will not have you to soil your hands. First, are we having such conversations? No. Secondly, are we encouraging our kids to throttle towards the paths that do not allow for them to be at the center of conversations that will dismiss values? Are we allowing them to be in such spaces? Then, as parents too, when we go all out there, because many of our parents are civil servants, many of them work in government, how many conversations are they consciously raising to their bosses in the office that, look, why don't you push for this? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? How many conversations are we having? But like I said, it's a round circle conversation, because the people who are still going to enforce it are the same people whom we are pointing towards.
Let's open the phone line right now. We have really spoken so brilliantly, and we'll expect you, the listener, to be part of this conversation. We're looking at the reevaluation of the value system in Nigeria, and we're asking, why do people go into government? We've asked quite a number of questions. You have been listening, and we want you to help us answer the questions. Let's see where we will go, because this is something that we need to keep talking about every day until something happens. Until something happens. 0707 747 1522. And call us on WhatsApp 0912-000-1975. Send us a message on WhatsApp as well 0912-000-1975. But call us on 0707-747-1522. You can also drop your messages on Facebook because we're streaming live on Facebook 97.5 Golding FM Yenagua. Like the page, subscribe, and of course, drop your message. You can listen on Radio Garden as well. We are live anywhere in the world. Just click on Radio Garden. Just download the app Radio Garden and listen to us live and join in the conversation. Let's get this one. Good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
So good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I greet you especially. Good morning.
Good morning.
I greet our brilliant guests in the house also. I remain Sapper reporting from Elephant.
Okay, quickly, Sapper.
As usual, this is very fast. The audio you just played from Emir of Kano, this is Sule Lamido. Am I right?
Yep.
Hello. Yeah. I think that alone has said it all. If you can listen to it cleanly, I think I wish we even play it again for the benefit of listeners that did not hear it. He has said it all. All we are saying is just to add some kind of salt or sugar to it. We have said it all. Brilliant submission. I think you should play that again. And if you allow me to even add one or two also. I think we have failed. I think the whole thing boils down to family value. Family value has gone down the drain. And I think that is even the bedrock of this whole quagmire that we are having today in this society. Thank you. This is my humble submission.
Thank you, Perry.
Thank you, Perry.
We appreciate you. Well, he has suggested that we play it again. Maybe at some point in the show we'll play it for those persons who are tuning in to listen to the program. We are looking at the reevaluation of the value system in Nigeria, and we're asking the questions, why do people go into government? So call us up, 0707-747-1522. And send a message on WhatsApp, 0912-000-1975. Hello, good morning to you, and thanks for joining us.
Hello, good morning, Detroit.
Good morning.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's so interesting. I think talking about values being eroded by present day. I think it's a result of the establishment, not holding to these values. There are certain establishments which upheld values, I think, which we have wrong with, that made this establishment today, and the reverse has been the case. One is the family, which is your own. Values are upheld, and that's which the children or whoever comes out from that family runs with, making a better person. The other thing is the community. Whereas they go for persons who have these values, make them the paramount that I think they run with, and that community stands out. The other, which is the church, I think was also another one which value was upheld. And I think people who are caught or concord to, that morality, those values, those made those churches to be an example. And lastly, that of the, institution, which people go to learn values. How do they learn there? I think if they learn values, then I think they will come out with outstanding persons who are able to display their disciplines and then place in position which they want, and not that which they didn't want. So values eroding these days, and it's continuing to get eroded, is because the citizen itself lacks the orientation, not even the leaders, because they are, like you just noted, buried. And today, whether we like it or not, if you have nothing, you send nobody. But if you have something, you are somebody reading in that. If you are master, but normally you made it, they see you as intelligent. For you that unfortunately do not make it, they see it to be ignorant or somebody who is not intelligent. So not until we accept that it's not about the cash, but it's about discipline, morality. For this individual, that is Nigeria state, we will get things right.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Aye, for your contribution. Yes, we're expecting more calls, but look, I need to put you on the spot now, Robert. This question...
It's gonna be 2 in 1.
Yes, you've got to be careful how you answer this question. You got to be careful, okay? Can you give examples of leaders, past or present, who entered government with genuine service motives?
And in also with that also, I said, is it true to have servant leadership? Is servant leadership possible today?
Okay, let me start with the second question. Servant leadership is very possible. Very, very possible. I believe in it. I've seen it work, and it's going to work. Your first question, I have not seen any leader. I have not seen any leader, at least none that I know of.
Why do you think that is? Is it because leadership in Nigeria is really very lucrative per se?
Maybe there was one, but he didn't make it to the office. I would like to make this assertion based on the perceived impression given by this person, and that should be MKO Abiola. You know, we grew up hearing the stories, and at some point in time, it felt like, that was the breath of fresh air, because that was the one time I saw Nigeria united for a cause. So aside from him, I do not know any other person. And even for him, I'm just saying based on perceived impression. I can't make bold to mention anyone because I have read vastly about our leaders and their upsides. At least history does not lie in certain ways. And even some of the ones who had good intentions to come into the system one way or the other, just because they needed to get in there, certain things had to change.
What if a caller comes up to say you're getting it wrong? You forgot the name. Probably Melford Okilo. Senator Melford Okilo was one person some people think had the good intentions. What if a caller answer that question?
Thank you. The question you're still putting to me, that what if the caller said is, he had good intention, perceived. Good intentions cannot be capitalized as good intentions until it materializes and has a robust effect on the lives of the common person. If it is having a robust effect on the lives of the elite, you can't call the outflow of that intention as good.
Some say that he did pretty well. Just for a short while, he did pretty well. Some people will argue that.
I can also attest to the fact that it was during his time that for the rural electrification process, that many of our towns and villages, even in Bielsa, that was all River State, received generating sets, power generating, as in that helped to light up the towns at that time. Since I came to my village 2000, and I saw where there were supply from the government, diesel was giving, prior to the time when we got connected to the power line, and because of Melford Okilo.
Paul, we can't put it to him. That's his own perspective.
I'm just saying.
Yes.
When I say that, I don't. I can't hold sway. I can't hold sway for any political figure as per your intent. I can't.
Okay, let's take this call now. Let's get this one. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us on the program.
Hello.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Aibanu Bakdermo.
Yeah.
Good morning to the guest. Let us go down memory lane. The Royal Niger Company that created Southern Protectorate, Northern Protectorate, and the colony of Lagos established an educational system that promoted the production of a salariate elite and salariate citizenry, not entrepreneurial elite, citizenry. For the elites and the citizens to be entrepreneurial, they will have to be honest, hardworking, creative, purposeful, visionary in their outlook and actions. But unfortunately, it was a kind of education that trained people to be selfish, greedy, self-centered, and they couldn't create wealth. They couldn't create wealth on a large scale for a large number of persons. When I say wealth, produce goods, capital, technical, scientific goods, and export to other parts of the country, of the world. Now we are under a lot of financial pressure. People want to make fast money. They want to make quick money. Unfortunately, some of us who went into creative thinking, we wanted to make change possible, to make sure that tens of millions of people become creative thinkers, inventors, discoverers, innovators, who were seen as enemy number one to be squashed. We have passed through a lot of hell. Some people will tell us, ask us, you not get money? Why they talk? You not get money? But we know where we are coming from. We know where we are going to. We want tens of billions of Nigerians to become wealth creators, and we'll make that happen with the support of millions of Nigerians and few elites who want that to happen. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for your.
Baba, the moment you say that, and when we have things, mantras, we have songs, we have things like, if you not get money, hide your face, and all of the different. It's.
I never liked that song.
Do you understand?
At some point, because it talks about the value you're talking about.
Value. See, it's
about
value.
value. I never liked that
because
song.
when those things happen, when this is occur, now, some persons always argue that the value system in Nigeria will only come back where we make political offices less attractive. Let's look at
I agree.
Do you also are you in line with that?
Yes, I agree.
Can that ever happen?
Knowing that it's going to be the people that are policymakers that are making it work.
That may never happen. May. Now, another thing we should also consider in this whole equation of things is the agencies. There are certain agencies that have also been set up, to look at this whole conversation, the eroding values and what they are doing. I am saying that everything is intertwined. Now, let's break it down holistically. Apart from the political system that gives so much reward in terms of incentive to political office holders, which other framework can we tie close to them that rewards people? Let's say if we're looking at the work system in Nigeria, NMPC, civil service, and all of that, which other system is close to it?
Is it the one that we're seeing where even pensioners that have worked for 35 are not being paid?
Okay.
Their pension?
Yes. So that is the only system that is close by that allows for intensive reward. You understand? So the person that was talking about entrepreneurship, beautiful point raised there about entrepreneurship and why it's important. But then again, it is still the people at the top who is going to actually put it on the fulcrum. I would not in any way blame the value system eroding in Nigeria to the political class. I will still say it starts from the family. It breeds up. And then the National Orientation Agency is also not doing enough. They're not doing enough to raise conversations. The National Orientation Agency should be able to sit at the top of conversations. Our TV shows, our musicians, and all of that. And also, in the Nigerian system, who are working. So consciously, these conversations do not come to fore.
When you just said that, one very painful thing, I don't know if you remember, there was a particular video of a young boy. He said he's not going to school anymore. He wants to go and learn Yahoo. That's what he wants to do. And he said he wants to learn how to press.
Because you have a lot of people around him who have been able to show that going into that business will make you successful.
We are in a system where materialism sits over mental value and acumen.
Have we got to the height where we might not be able to change this anymore?
We have not gotten there. When we get there, I don't think any of us will be sitting on this radio station. We are on our way there. By the time we get to that peak of all of this madness, none of us will be here. None of us will be here.
Where will we be?
We'll be somewhere else, wallowing in pain, looking at the destruction that has been created, because it's going to actually affect all sides. It's going to affect all sides. Time will not allow for me to.
They even look at the broadcaster right now and say you are nothing. There's this particular minister. I'm not talking about what I call it, the minister of God, that talked down at a broadcaster. Say ordinary broadcaster.
You understand? So that's what I'm saying.
Ordinary broadcaster, because maybe broadcasters don't make money or don't have a lot of money, and so
it was also we've seen in this time a history in Nigeria.
A church minister.
Even a former minister was having a press conference and somebody asked him a question. Then he began to belittle
the press man.
So that's what I'm saying. That our value system is tied to the family. It starts here from the common person. It's more or less like, oh, Mr. Moye, do you regard me as an ordinary person first before knowing whoever I am? That's the question first. Do you regard me first as an ordinary person without knowing who I am? If the honest answer comes from a place of understanding and where you're coming from, you will regard that person. Certain family value system is tied on don't regard people as a nobody. Then there are certain value system that has taught some of us that you have to respect people regardless of who or what they are.
Let's take this call now. Good morning. We lost that. You probably want to call back and contribute because this conversation is getting even more interesting. Reevaluating the value system in Nigeria. Why do people go into government? And look, before okay, well, another call is coming up. But let me ask you this question: Do you think poverty and economic hardship play in pushing people towards politics as a survival strategy?
For crying out loud, that's it. That's the center of it. That's the center of it. That is the center of it.
And when you come up with school, no job,
no job. There's
politics.
nothing.
That's why someone in the midst of everything. We had a list. The president submitted a list of minister nominees, and out of them, about 70% of them say they're full-time politicians.
Exactly.
Occupation.
So we are not having people who are career-driven, who are embedded in the professional space. Because let's say if we want to have a country that works, let's start looking at the value system of people for being the criteria to getting into politics. It's more or less like if we want to set up the Ministry for Information and Technology, we are going to look at somebody in this fora. We're going to look at, let's say we want to have somebody to manage the National Orientation Agency. We say, let's look at an ace broadcaster, somebody who has been in the system, who understands this, and not some John Card who is loyal to somebody to say, now my Oga, make my Oga boy go manage him. And that's what we are facing now.
Let me ask you this hard question. And before I ask a hard question, let's take this call. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Can you hear me?
All right.
We can hear you now.
Good morning.
Good morning, Moye.
Morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
Moye, why do you think people get politics? It's not just to make money.
That is you.
Are you sure? Are you sure to serve the public? Are you sure?
I will serve the public.
And they will tell us they want to, when they are in their manifesto, you will hear, vote me, I will do this, I will do that, socially, I will provide everything you need. At the end of the day, when they get there, no matter how good they are, they will change immediately. Pack the money, though, and bring in their own person that will continue from where he or she has stopped, which is very bad. Politicians should change, and the youth should be careful who they vote for. Honest, Mikey, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll not take any calls for now until we return from this commercial break. We're about going for one now. When we return, we will round up the whole conversation. Remember, we are reevaluating the value system in Nigeria. We're asking why do people go into government? And yes, I told you I have a hard question for you. That will be after the commercial break.
Golden FM 97.5. Golden FM 97.5. This is your golden moment. 97.5 Golden FM, the gold standard of radio.
Want to grow your business fast? Golden 97.5 FM has got the perfect solution for you. You can locate our radio house at Mike Opopo Street, Bansha, Yenagua, Bayelsa Estates. Whether it's your business, music, event, or special promo, Golden FM has got you covered. So hurry now and let's put your brand in the spotlight.
Shining brighter than ever. 97.5 FM, the gold standard of radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back to the concluding part of Let's Talk Nigeria. We still have Robert Derek right here. Morgan Stephen is here.
And of course, Paul Bass is also here.
Now, here comes the hard question. A lot of people are concerned about these days' appointments, right? We're talking about why do people go into government? And I want to ask this question. Do you think this has also contributed to the problem we have where leaders, when again the government will begin to appoint people, and we hear phrases like social media boys? So these people do not have any job. All they need to do is get in there. They get paid little stipends and they start doing things and all of that. So it makes a lot of people, when they come out of school, they are looking forward to serving some masters so that when they get into politics, they'll be able to bring them into the system and they will do all of that. And when the government is over, they have no jobs. They have nowhere to go to. And back to the same problem. Do you think this has also contributed to the problem we have in the country?
Especially in democracy.
Yes.
Yes, it does. And I think this is where I would fault individuals. You know, the individual factor is very high. And that's why I tell young people, as much as we would always blame the system for everything, how are you building capacity for yourself? Yeah. How are you developing yourself? Because there's a certain level you will develop yourself to. You will not subject yourself to certain spaces just because you want to eat. Just because you want to eat. So I always put it as an individual pet. Because if we have 1 million youths today in Bayelsa State, not all, or even if we have 1 million youths today in the Niger Delta per se, not all of these youths want to go and answer yes sir to somebody so that the person will put them somewhere. So the thing is, if I get your question correctly, poverty sits at the table of all of this. And that's why many of these politicians exploit that scenario to carve these people to themselves. They don't like people who stand on their own. They don't like people who have a voice of their own. They don't like those kind of people. You understand? And the thing is, for some of these people they bring into the system, they reward them with peanuts. I've always made bold to tell some of my close folks and all that. The day your guts build to the fullest, that's the day that the river will be ready for you to scoop from it. But if the man at the top brings you close to the forest, he will tell you, don't go close to the river. You're going to get drowned. Or you may not get drowned in the process. Rather, you will fill your tanks. So the problem is many of them do not have the guts to strive and build something for themselves, because we live in a system where people are willing to buy. Aside from politics, there are other things that people are willing to buy from you. The question is, as an individual, as a young person, what value do you have for yourself? Without politics, can I still swim in other waters and get to the river bank?
You know, the moment you're saying this now, let's just bring it home, because we've seen that this is Bayelsa. Bayelsa, of course, the glory of all lands. We're seeing also there's some systems where some states across the country are civil servant states. That means the major inflow comes from government and it's state-owned, most likely everything, but you don't have much of these things. Okay, but we'll have a call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Your name, please, quickly.
Yeah, my name is Comrade Abraham Nelson, calling from Tunja, Jama.
All right.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yes, I am enjoying the program today.
Thank you.
Yeah, talking about values and why politicians go into politics.
No, why individuals, actually, not politicians.
Individuals.
Okay, individuals. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think for now, majorly, I think it's more of a personal interest thing. I think not all of them, but most of them just go there because of their personal interest. And let me say again now, the system that we have right now is kind of, should I say, set up in a way that it is kind of difficult for those who have genuine interest to lead, to have access to that, to the public offices. Like, for example, how much do political parties sell their interest sums? Some for 20 million, some for 50 million, some for 100 million. How many ordinary Nigerians can afford to buy such kind of funds? In fact, let me just say straightforward. I think over the years, some of our political leaders have actually organized the system in such a way that majority of the citizens should remain poor so that they can always control them. I think that is what is actually drilling the family's value right now, because the system has been programmed to make majority of Nigerians poor. So we have issues with values in our family level because people want to survive at all means. Man must survive. That's what we are facing. So let me stop here for your guest to maybe comment on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's probably going to be our last call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not far from it. It's not far from the truth. And realistically speaking, the center of all of these conversations, like I always say, is poverty. It's poverty. And we have a long way to go because the system is not showing any possibilities of change. But in our own strata, we have to do something for ourselves. Let family values be aligned properly. Young people should be industrious for themselves. You're not going to say that, so without politics or getting involved in politics, you're not going to make it. You can, you would make it. Politics is not for everybody. Sure. It's not for everybody, you understand? And then we should be able to tell ourselves the truth. One of the problems with the Nigerian system is that people are not wired to reflect. We're not wired to reflect on the true essence of things.
Okay, so and that's how we're going to end it today. But before we go, maybe for the benefit of someone who is just tuning in, who is just struggling with a title, well, let's let you know that we've been discussing for the past about 45 or 55 minutes the re-evaluation of the value system in Nigeria and why do people go into government. Robert Derrick has been our guest. But Derrick, in just 60 seconds, would you want to give us something that you want our listeners to go home with?
Okay. No meaningful change occurs in any system when people refuse to take action. The action starts from the family. Hold conversations with your peers, your friends, your loved ones on how life should go, the right ways. When that conversation ends there, come out of your house, go into your workspace, hold conversation still, and push for certain things. Sometimes the price for change with all of this conversation is rebellion. You should be ready at every point in time to rebel rightly.
Thank you so much, Robert Derrick Ukesaya, for coming around this morning to talk about this very important topic, re-evaluating the value system in Nigeria and why people go into government. We appreciate you for coming.
Thank you. And for me, I just want to make two statements. A nation is only as strong as its value system and the values it upholds. And when politics becomes business, citizens become customers. But when politics is service, citizens become beneficiaries. That is what I would like to say. Remember, Bayelsa Baby by Bayelsa, Nigeria Baby by Nigerians. My name is Paul Oblomugbasa. Thanks for listening.
My concluding thoughts as we draw the curtains on today's discussion. One thing is clear. The crisis in Nigeria's value system is not just a problem of leadership. It's a problem of mindset, culture, and collective conscience. Too often government is seen not as a place to serve, but as a ladder to climb out of poverty or thrown to wield unchecked power. But governance at its core is about responsibility. It's about representing people, managing resources with integrity, and leaving a legacy that uplifts and not destroys. So, to every Nigerian listening right now, whether you are a student, a teacher, a trader, a civil servant, or an aspiring leader, ask yourself, if I were given power today, would I use it to serve or to steal? The future of Nigeria depends on how we answer that question, and not just in words, but in action. Until next time, let's keep keen thinking, questioning, and rebuilding the values that truly matter. My name is Moya Steving, and tomorrow we'll be back with another topic on Let's Talk Nigeria.